everyone. In our previous session, we have observed the definition of energy management, energy audit, then after need of energy audit as well as different type of audit. So now in today's session, I would like to start with one of the important term based on which we are able to assess the performance of any plant, and that term is benchmarking. So let me begin with the explanation of benchmarking, and then we will discuss the different type of benchmarking and observe how the benchmarking is effective in order to have a energy efficient plant. So what do you mean by benchmarking? It's one of the simple word, and quite a few times we have listened this word, okay, and we roughly know the meaning of this word. So just try to think. You can say the benchmarking is the process of comparison of the energy performance of any equipment of plant with some of the standard equipment. Okay. Benchmarking is the process of comparison of performance of any energy equipment of the plant with the standard one, or you can say one another industry equipment. For example, let's say you have a process plant in which you are generating the steam. Okay, so the performance of the steam generation system is compared with the standard steam generator, okay, or you can say the standard performance that is provided by the IBR, or you can say you can compare the performance of your steam generation system with some another industry which also produce the steam using the boiler. So benchmarking is the activity of the comparison in which we can compare the performance of our existing equipment with some of the standard presets or with the another industry having the same equipment. By performing the benchmarking activity, we are able to identify that whether the particular instrument it is working in proper conditions or not, or you can say we are able to reduce the wastage of the energy by benchmarking. Clear? Okay. In short, you can say benchmarking is the comparison activity in which we need to compare our performance with some of the standard presets. Clear? Now, the next one I would like to discuss the approach of the benchmarking. As far as the approach of the benchmarking is concerned, the benchmarking approach is divided in three categories. First one, entire industrial sector, then within the plant sector, and self-defined benchmarking. As I told you that the benchmarking is the comparison activity. So for the comparison of your existing activity, you require some another one to which you can compare your performance. So for that we need to discuss here three approaches. First one is the entire industrial sector. In this approach, you need to identify the similar type of industry. For example, let's say you have a gear manufacturing plant, okay, and you are manufacturing gears. In order to identify the energy efficiency of a gear manufacturing unit, you need to identify other industry which is also manufacturing gear, and you need to compare your performance with them, and based on this comparison you will get clear idea whether to incorporate any extra or you can say additional energy saving strategy or not. Okay, so it is all about the entire industrial approach in which you need to compare the performance of industry with the similar one across the globe. You can choose any industry. For example, here in India we are manufacturing car in Tata. So you can say for the benchmarking, Tata can also compare its performance with the Volkswagen, that is ultimately Germany based company. Okay. So likewise across the globe you need to compare the performance of the energy. You have full freedom to choose any plant across the globe, but make sure that this plant is similar to your plant. The next one is the plant within the sector. In this category, particularly, you need to compare your plant energy performance with the another industry which is in your sector particularly. For example, let's say in Ahmedabad, particularly we have a casting industry A and casting industry B. So the casting industry A compare its performance with the industry B, and again make sure that the casting company B is in our sector, I mean to say it is in Ahmedabad only. We have no freedom to choose any plant that is outside the sector. Then in self-defining benchmarking process, we need to set some sort of benchmark or some set of the goal, and we need to perform the measurement task with respect to that goal. For example, let's say we have decided to manufacture 1 lakh here, that is our goal, but right now we have only production of the 50,000. So we need to compare our actual production with the standard goal that we have set. Okay, so it is all about the self-defining benchmarking. So we have 3 types of benchmarking: entire industrial sector, then after plant within the sector, and self-defining benchmarking. Now next I would like to start with the energy performance, plant energy performance. Generally, in majority of the cases, the energy is associated with the product, or you can say productivity. So at that time, it's our prime duty to identify the plant energy performance. Okay, plant energy performance is the measure of whether the plant is now using more or less energy to manufacture its product than it did in the past. Okay, and a measure of how well the energy management program is doing. Ultimately, it compares the energy consumption for the production of existing product with that of the product that we have already produced in the past years. So based on this, we will get clear idea that we are running out of the efficiency or within the energy efficiency. Okay, so for that we need to identify the plant energy performance, and for that we are utilizing one factor called the production factor. The production factor is used to determine the energy that would have been required to produce this year production output if the plant had operated in the same way as it did with the reference year. Okay, and again it is the ratio of current year production to the reference year production. You can select any reference year. Okay. Now next one is reference year equivalent energy use. So you can say reference year energy equivalent use is nothing but the product of the production factor to the reference year energy use. Ultimately, it provides some of the reference and based on which we are able to pop up our production so that we can achieve the energy efficiency. So for the plant performance, we need to keep these 2 factors in our mind, and that 2 factors are the production factor and the reference year equivalent use. Okay. Now next one is the plant energy performance is equal to, you can say, again this equation is a kind of the empirical equation that we need to directly adapt, is equal to, you can say, reference year equivalent minus current year energy divided by reference year equivalent that we have found in our previous slide. Reference year equivalent is equal to, you can say, the production factor multiplied by reference year equivalent. Okay, that we have observed here in previous slide. Okay, so just by using the reference year equivalent and the current year energy, we are able to derive the plant energy performance. Clear? So it is one of the best thing that we need to incorporate in industry whenever the production is directly related with the energy. Clear? Then after we have method of improving the energy performance so that we are able to create the energy efficient organization. First one is, you can say, matching the energy use to requirement. Okay. In this topic particularly, we need to match our requirement with the energy resources. For example, let's say you have a room size of 20 by 20 and you are using only 1 ton AC, then it's not sufficient. Okay, so likewise we need to observe our demand, and based on that we need to select particular equipment. For example, let's say size of a room is 10 by 10 and we are using the 2.5 ton AC, then it's not worthwhile. Okay, so before going to selecting any equipment, it's our prime duty to observe our requirement. The second one is to maximize the system efficiency. Okay, by maximizing the system efficiency, we are able to improve the performance of the plant, and there are lots of ways to maximize the efficiency of any system that we have discussed in the chapter number 5 during the discussion of the thermal utility like boiler, furnace, okay, heat exchangers, like that. And third one is to optimize the energy requirement. Okay, optimization is the process of setting some of the digits which provide the ultimate energy efficiency, or you can say increased energy efficiency. So optimization must require for any industry. Then after fuel substitution, fourth one, fuel substitution is all about identifying the alternative fuels which can help in reducing the wastage of energy. Okay, and again this type of fuel are majority of time people are going for the renewable energy sources like solar energy and the wind energy, rather going toward the non-renewable energy sources. So it is all about the measurement of the, it is all about the method to improve the energy performance. Next I would like to discuss the energy audit instrument and the metering. Ultimately, in mechanical metrology and instrumentation subject, we have discussed lots of the equipment as in which we have briefly observed the working of different devices. So, whenever you are doing the energy audit, at that time you require some sort of the equipment in order to measure the different data of the plant. So, those instruments are, you can say, first one, electric instrument, which is used to measure the kilowatt hour capacity of the plant as well as the power factor, that is PF, then after kilowatt, then after hertz, okay, ampere and the voltage. For that we require different electric equipment like voltmeter, ammeter, likewise, okay. Then after combustion analyzer is used to measure the pollutant like SOx, then after NOx. Particularly offset apparatus is one of the great apparatus to measure the pollutant level. Okay. Then after next one we have a contact type of thermometer which is used to measure the temperature of any fluid stream that is flowing or any gas stream. Particularly we have K type or the J type of the thermocouple, as well as to measure the radiation. We have optical pyrometer that we can use. Okay, so likewise in temperature we have lots of equipment with us to measure the temperature. Okay, from simple thermometer to the optical pyrometer that we can use to measure the temperature of any substance. Then after infrared thermometer is ultimately non-contacting type of thermocouple which is widely used nowadays to measure the temperature of the human body. Okay, because of the COVID situation. Then after you can say pitot tube and the manometer. Pitot tube and manometer are the device which can use to measure the velocity of air and hence the pressure of fluid flow. Okay, and again similar kind of device we have already discussed in FM, like you can say venturi meter, then after orifice meter. Okay, then after we have a speed meter to measure the speed. We have a two type of device, contacting and the non-contacting type. Tachometer is the contacting type device, okay, that we can use to measure the speed of any shaft. Okay, then after by using the lighting technique we are able to also measure the speed of any equipment using the indirect method. Okay, then after leak detector, that is widely used the ultrasonic technique to measure the leakage. Okay, this thing we have already discussed in steam system during the analysis of the inspection. Okay. So likewise we have lots of category of instrument which we need to keep with us in order to have an energy audit of the plant. Okay, clear? We can add lots of equipment here that you know. But in this session I would like to discuss only up to this thing. Clear? Okay. Thank you. It is all about the today's session. Stay tuned for the next session.